Today we are trying to explain the part, that is third part of understanding development economics lecture series. This today's topic is inclusive growth, its concept, its dimension, descriptions, and policy related matters like this. So inclusive growth means the economic growth that is broad based across sectors, creates productive employment, and reduces poverty and inequality. It is growth that includes the poor, women, the rural communities, and marginalized groups, not just the already privileged. That means growth with inclusion of the vulnerable section of the society. The concept gained prominence after 2008, the financial crisis, that revealed that GDP growth could coexist with stagnating wages for the majority. The OECD countries, World Bank, and the Asian Development Bank have all developed frameworks to measure and promote inclusive growth. The five dimensions of inclusive growth is the productive employment, the equal opportunity, social protection, fiscal redistribution, and financial inclusion. The description is like this: it creates job. Okay, productive employment means it's creating jobs that pay living wages. The policy related issues are like this: the SME support, small and micro entrepreneurs support, the skill development training, various skill development training, etc. So equal opportunity dimension is everyone can participate regardless of gender, caste, region, and affirmative action, scholarships, etc. These are the policy related issues. Social protection, safety nets for the vulnerable, Manrega, conditional cash transfers, direct benefit transfers, etc. are the actions, policy related actions for social protection. Similarly, fiscal redistribution, use taxes to reduce inequality, progressive income tax, public services, etc. And financial inclusion includes access to banking and credit for all, Jan Dhan Yojana, M-Pesa in Kenya, etc. Now, the most important part of the development economics is the quantitative measurement of development. So, this is Human Development Index. So, was created by Amartya Sen and Mahbub for the UNDP. It was a revolutionary idea which measures development not by income alone but by three fundamental dimensions, uh, which are very important for human life. The three dimensions are education, life, health, education, and income. Okay, in terms of language, it is the health index or health dimension is related to long and healthy life. The education dimension is related to knowledge and education, and the income dimension is decent standard of living. Now, the description of these indicators are like this: life expectancy at birth, not only description but also the quantitative measurement. How can we measure this dimension? For health index, that is long and healthy life is being measured by life expectancy at birth, and the knowledge and education is the two sub indices are there, or two the law knowledge and education is divided into two parts. So one is mean years of schooling, that is for adults, plus expected years of schooling for the children, and the decent standard of living, that is measured by per capita GNI, gross national income. The tentative measurement that is given, the range of values, one is for the minimum value, this column is for minimum value and this column is for the maximum value. The minimum value for the life expectancy at birth is 20 years and maximum value is 85 years. Mean years of schooling for adult is 0 and expected years of schooling for children is also 0. Minimum value and maximum value is 15 years for mean years of schooling for the adults and 18 years for expected years of schooling. And the decent standard of living, that is measured by GNI, gross national income per capita, and $100 is minimum and $75,000 is maximum. Now, for each dimension we need to calculate the dimension index by applying the formula actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value, and we calculate the education index as the average of the two education sub indices. Then calculate HDI as the geometric mean of the three dimension indices. The HDI is equals to health index, education index, and the income index. So the formula is HDI equals to health index into education index into income index whole to the power 1/3, that is geometric mean. So the geometric mean is used, not a simple average, because it penalizes the uneven development. A country cannot compensate for a very low health score with a very high income score. In case of simple average, the initially it was taken, the formula was the simple average of the three indices, but it can compensate the loss of one index in terms of another one, but in this formula this cannot be compensated, so it will be properly clearly visible. Okay, the hypothetical example, suppose the actual value of life expectancy is given by 72 years, whereas the minimum is 20 of that series is 20 and the maximum is 85. Similarly, the mean years of schooling is 10 actual, and this is the minimum value, this is the maximum value. Similarly, expected years of schooling 14 years, 0, 18, and these are the actual value. This is the minimum and maximum value of that series. Okay, now health index, as using the formula, this can be calculated: the actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value of that series, that is equals to this value 0.8. Similarly, mean years of schooling, using the same formula: actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value equals to this, and the expected years of schooling, actual value minus minimum value divided by maximum value minus minimum value equals to this. And the education index is calculated by taking the average of these two, that is 0.667 plus 0.778 divided by 2. Similarly, income index, the income is being used with the log form just to reduce its value. So log of actual income minus log of minimum divided by log of maximum minus log of minimum. So this value stands for 0.723. Now HDI value is 0.748. Hypothetical, using hypothetical data. Now this value represents the high human development category. That is this, because UNDP already classified with respect to the values of HDI. The countries are classified into very high level of human development, high human development, medium human development, and low human development. The countries are given into 2023. The countries with very high human development: Norway, Germany, Australia. Similarly, high human development: Brazil, China. India not yet, but medium human development: India, Bangladesh, Ghana. Low human development: Niger, Chad, Sudan, etc. So on the basis of these values, the countries are, the level of development can be classified in this way. Now, another important concept of development is human poverty index, HPI. The human poverty index was introduced by UNDP in 1997 to measure deprivation rather than their achievement, while HDI asks how high is human development. HPI asks how many people are left behind. The two versions existed: HPI-1 for developing countries and HPI-2 for the rich or developed countries. Both measured the deprivation in three dimensions, similar to HDI, though HPI was replaced by multidimensional poverty index in 2010, which is more precise. But we shall study HPI because it introduced the revolutionary concept of measuring poverty in multiple dimensions. What is the formula for the developing countries? That is HPI-1. We need to calculate the probability of dying before age 40, the adult illiteracy rate, that means the percentage who cannot read, and the average of percentage without access to safe water plus percentage underweight children under 5. Now the formula of HPI-1 is equals to P1 cube plus P2 cube plus P3 cube divided by 3 whole to the power 1/3. The cube, that is power 3, gives extra weight to the most deprived. A country with many people severely deprived scores worse than one with the same average but less extreme poverty. Hypothetical example of a one country. Suppose the probability of dying before age 40 is equals to, that is P1 equals to 18%, that is 0.18. Adult literacy, that is P2 equals to 35%, that is 0.35. Percentage without safe water is 25%, 0.25. Percentage underweight children 30%, 0.30. And P3 equals to average of the last two, that is 27.5%, that is 0.275%. Now using this value into this formula, just putting this formula, what we can get, 28.5%. So HPI-1 28.5% means significant human poverty. About 28 to 29% of the population is deprived across these basic dimensions. This way we can able to explain the value of HPI-1. Now the gender empowerment measure, that is GEM. The gender empowerment measure was introduced alongside of HDI in 1995 to measure women's active participation in economic and political life, not just whether the women survive or are educated, but whether they have power and voice. Okay, so GM focuses on agency. Actually, can women make decisions? Do they hold seats in parliament? Are they managers and professionals? Do they earn comparable income? These are the different research questions. To solve these research questions, this GM has been developed. The indicators or dimensions are political participation. Three dimensions of GM is political participation, economic participation, and income. So the measurement is percentage of women in parliament, percentage of women as legislators, senior officials and managers, plus percentage of women as professionals and technical workers. This is economic decision making power. The first one is political voice and representation, and the third one is income, that is economic, that is female versus male estimated earned income, that is economic independence, that is reflecting. So these are the dimension, these are the indicator, and these are the meaning of such dimension. Now each share is converted to an equally distributed equivalent percentage, equally distributed equivalent percentage, using a formula that penalizes the inequality between men and women. So what is the equally distributed equivalent percentage? Is female percentage into male percentage divided by 50. That is GEM is equals to EDEP political plus EDEP economic plus EDEP income divided by 3. Now if we use hypothetical data, it will be clear. So the variables are women in parliament. Suppose the hypothetical data says 30%, men in parliament 70%, women legislators or managers 25%, men legislators or and oblique managers 75%, women professionals and as well as technical 45%, the main professionals and or technical, that is 55%. So these are the data we got from hypothetical use. And women's estimated income share 38%, men's estimated income share 62%. So now we need to calculate the EDEP political, EDEP income. Okay, in all the three dimensions we need to calculate. How to calculate EDEP political? So multiply first. What is the percentage of women in parliament? 0.30 into 0.70 divided by 0.50 into 100. So this is the formula. That is 42.0. Similarly, for economic participation, average of the two components. So women average is equals to average of the two economic participation. One is that is known as 25 and 45. 25 is in women legislators and as well as managers 25%, and women professional and technical 45. So 25 and 45 average, 25 and 45 average is 35%. Similarly, men 75 and 55. 75, that is men legislators and managers 75, and 55 men professional and technical. So this is the average. 75 and 55 is equals to 65%. So EDEP economic is equals to 0.35, average is 35%, so 0.35, average for the men is 65%, so 0.65 divided by 0.5 into 100, that is 45.5%. Similarly, EDEP income is equals to 47.1%. Now GM is the average of these three, that is 0.449. Now GM 0.449 means if we compare with Sweden, this is 0.90, India 0.44. GM highlights that even if women are educated, political and economic marginalization persists. So this value implies this. GM was phased out after 2009 and replaced by GII, that is Gender Inequality Index, but it remains conceptually important and is still studied in many academic programs. With this, we are concluding for part three of our lecture series. Thank you for your patience. We are